Hustle. Get the business, build the business, then you get the cash. Then you flip it, we unscripted, don't forget to laugh. Hustle. Don't forget to laugh. Grind hard, align stars, and as the time pass, hustle. And humor by task, we get the last laugh. Hustle. And humor, now tap in.
What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Hustle and Humor, where we grind hard but laugh harder. I got some amazing guests in the house with me today, and let me tell you why they're amazing. Because I've known them for, is it a decade? It's been a long time. It's been a long time. And they've helped me with everything financial for a long time. So don't ever say I didn't give you the plug on people that helped me, because I brought my people in the building today. So I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. We'll do a vibe check. Please introduce yourselves to the people. Tell them who you are and what it is that you do.
All right. Well,
Ladies first, though. Ladies first.
Oh, here we go.
So I am Nikki Anderson. I am the COO of Fusion Agency and Executive Marketing Director at Global Financial Impact.
Okay. Y'all might gotta speak up some so the mic catch you.
Okay. Is he getting me? Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you guys getting me okay? All right, Francisco.
All right. I'm Francisco Anderson, and CEO of Fusion Agencies and Executive Marketing Director at Global Financial Impact.
All right. So what do y'all? Tell the people kind of some of what y'all do.
All right. So getting down to the nitty gritty, locally we own an insurance, financial services, marketing firm locally. And we have partnered with an amazing platform with Global Financial Impact. And so we made a recent transition the last couple of years. And so we are literally in 43 states across the country. We have agents, licensed financial professionals that we are responsible for across the country. And we're in the process of building and continuously growing our business.
I like it. So this means when y'all on social media and you see those hot clips and you're like, oh, that sounds dope. If it was me and I see the hot clip, I'm gonna come run and ask them a question. Hey, I saw this clip that said I could become a millionaire overnight. All I gotta do is invest, right? Take all my life savings, put it into this crypto coin, and then all I gotta do is take that and do X, Y, and Z. Then before I do it though, I'll come ask Francisco and Nikki, hey, do y'all think I should take all my life savings, buy this crypto coin? And then they may tell me something like, that's called a pumping dump. What's gonna happen is you're gonna be broke and it's a scam. And that's why you need real financial professionals in your life. So that way all of the hot take gurus on YouTube do not have you taking your money, throwing it in the air, and you leaving broke.
There's so much to be said about that. I wasn't sure if you wanted to comment on that. It looked like you wanted to comment on that.
I was just gonna say one thing. It's crazy how people are willing to accept advice from people that have no credentials, no experience, because their videos look good.
Yeah.
About financial advice.
Right.
And it's just crazy what people are willing to listen to.
And the biggest issue that I oftentimes find with that is that if you do the background research on the people that are doing or suggesting that you put money into those types of things, you'll find that they're probably not licensed, right? And so nowadays, when you really want to service and take care of a client the right way, you have to be licensed. You should be licensed and have the proper credentials, whether you are having your state life insurance producer's license or your state health insurance producer's license, or if you happen to be in the security space, having your securities registrations with the appropriate bodies like FINRA, so on and so forth, and working with an appropriate broker dealer. So you should be registered to be able to give proper financial information advice, because most people don't realize it. You could actually be held accountable for what you say and what you suggest to other people. And most people don't realize that there's some heavy consequences for making poor, bad recommendations that are not in alignment with the client's needs, with their current situation. So
I'm gonna tell you why that's so beautiful. I met this brother years ago, probably about, at this point it's probably 20, Ooh, am I getting feedback? Hello? I met this brother probably like in the early 2000s, maybe around 2000s, right? Today he has a big YouTube channel, but every time he comes on, his YouTube channel is JT Pocket Watcher. Every time he comes on, he mentions, I'm a licensed financial professional able to give advice in these things. Not that I'm doing it over YouTube, but you can call my office and get real financial advice. Right. But he caught his wave because he started exposing all these people who would start their podcast off saying, I'm not licensed to give you financial advice. Mm-hmm. At that point, you should probably stop. You can push stop. Because everything that's coming after that is somebody's idea and opinion. And what started happening was, it started with Jay Morrison, who, of course, Atlanta's biggest scammer, who did the real estate thing, who had the Tulsa real estate fund. That was a complete scam. Mm-hmm. But after Jay Morrison, it was like scammer. And this is why it touched me personally. Because I went to the first Social Proof alumni dinner in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And when I talked about how this experience changed my life, but I didn't know at that time, right? So I was in a room, all these young black multimillionaires, success stories everywhere. I was the brokest person in the room. Mm-hmm. And I was looking like, man, it's crazy. I've never seen black people talk about money like this in such a way where everybody's successful doing their thing. And then as time progressed, slowly but surely, especially coming out of COVID, I started seeing these stories like, arrested for financial crimes. Wow. What's that? A scam? Felony charges. And I started seeing people that was in a room that I'm like, half the people were scammers. Wow. So it looked good, but you're not dealing with people that are licensed. So I always tell people, anything that you want to deal with, go get somebody that's licensed to give you the right information, because it's so easy to see something on social media. And as long as there's good marketing, and as long as the person is articulate and they can talk well and they sound good, it's like they'll sell you a dream. I remember, I don't know if you follow or not, and I actually met him. So it's hilarious because I met him and he's a cool brother, but he gave bad advice. Mm-hmm. Are y'all familiar with like Him 500? Do you know what that is? No. So Him 500 has a huge entrepreneur community. During COVID, he had a community called Recession Proof. I think he still has it. And so Him 500 goes on a Bigger Pockets podcast, and he's telling people, he said, listen, this is the lick to hit. And this is how you run the play, which is why nowadays run the play means scam, right? This is how you run the play. You go to Navy Federal Bank in particular. It's Navy Federal first, right? Navy. You tell them you want to purchase a car. You find a car, you send them the VIN number. They're going to cut you a check for that car. Within 30 days, once you don't purchase the car or whatever, that loan now goes from an auto loan to your personal loan, and now you have a personal loan. And say, well, that sounds good to people who don't know, except that that's bank fraud. I mean, that's auto fraud, and it's a felony. And so what started happening is videos started hitting the net of people being arrested because they were running the play. And it's like, and what? So once it was pointed out by several different people, I think. What's the attorney in LA? Tone from Tone Talks, that was on BET, him, Yvette Cornell, different people were pointing out, like, this is felony fraud. Like, this is a fraud. Once it started getting pointed out, the black community responded like, y'all some haters. Wow. It's like, nah, professionals not haters. Right. There's no quick come up schemes for you to get rich overnight that's legit. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't exist in that way.
So, what's interesting about that, what you just discussed, is unfortunately people get caught up really quickly because everything is shiny. My wife often says, just because it's shiny, everything that glitters ain't gold.
It ain't gold.
So the reality is that there is no quick come up. There is no get rich scheme that will literally take you legally and put you in a position that you want to be in. Because at some point you got to give it back.
Right.
So that's the unfortunate scenario. But the reality is there's plenty of opportunities out there that are legal and legitimate that will allow a person over a period of time, if they commit themselves and allow themselves to learn the specific craft or whatever it might be, actually invest their time and energy to learn it, they'll get it. And they'll actually have some success, because the truth is, it's way better to create and generate and develop and build wealth over time. Whereas somebody that gets wealth really fast,
like a lottery winner,
lose it.
Right.
They lose it quickly. So
because there's a difference between being rich and
being wealthy.
Absolutely.
There's a complete difference.
Absolutely.
I mean, with being rich, that means you got a source of income. But once that income goes off, that rich goes away. Everybody's 6 months away from bankruptcy.
That's rich, absolutely.
But when you're wealthy, you're on a whole nother level.
And wealth is quiet. Wealth is not
It doesn't have
loud.
to be loud.
Well, it's not flashy, you know. And most people should check their motivations for even wanting to be rich.
Right.
You know, that's how they fall for stuff like that, right? Because what's going on in you that this is even appealing, that I feel like I have to go for this anyway.
So I'm gonna share something with y'all and get y'all opinion. It was a red flag now that I'm looking at it, and I had this conversation the other day. At the time, I was trying to process it, and I was like, "What?" I knew I was hearing something that wasn't registering, but I couldn't process what I heard. Right. So the same event I went to, right, this brother is bragging that he has a $25,000 Louis Vuitton shirt with real gold woven into it. So it's got like these lines on it, and like all the lines he's saying are real gold. So I asked, the only question I asked him, I was like, how do you know that's real gold? I was like,
and why does it matter?
But even if it is, why would you pay $25,000 for a T-shirt?
Right.
Like I was trying to figure out, does this T-shirt cook you dinner? Like, does this T-shirt? Yeah. So what's y'all? So look, I saw this at the time, but like this is our culture though, right? This is a community. Like we brag over looking.
You remember we were
way.
having this conversation a while back about why the community has a tendency of wanting to go with specific brands and you know and how that's more historic than anything, you know. Based on getting good quality versus you know terrible quality stuff, and why folks are just kind of locked into that.
Yeah, I don't remember what we were saying about it.
We watched a documentary on that. We watched a documentary on that.
Yeah, it was something that had to do with, you know, and back in the day, our parents in their generation didn't have access to quality things, right? So, you know, back then, for them to be able to purchase something of quality meant a lot to them. You know, they were actually able to have something that would last a long time. It wasn't necessarily about being flashy, you know, it was just having access to good things, you know. And unfortunately, that's turned into a completely different
psychologically,
in our community today.
And so nowadays, so back to your question about you know this gold T-shirt. I mean,
that's ridiculous.
I don't see. Okay, so she and we're on the same page.
Now, to be honest with you,
it's the same book.
My husband will tell you, how do I feel about people in general when we're walking into spaces or rooms? Like, what am I doing? Most times
you're just observing.
I observe, and I'm very skeptical of people that put everything materially out there. Those are shells. They're hiding something.
It's an exterior. It's an exterior. Yes. It's compensating. Compensate. It's like a void. Something that's missing.
Yes.
So here's an example. If you walk into somebody's house, let's say one of your friends got probably 200 pairs of shoes. All right. Okay, so that 200 pairs of shoes is a result of something.
Right.
And oftentimes...
some kind of trauma.
You're talking about trauma earlier. It's about coming up, right? He didn't have the shoes that he wanted, or family couldn't afford what they wanted. And so now, today, the whole thing is, I got money in my pocket, so let me go buy what I want, right? And so then, you know, when people buy things, what you described earlier, it comes down to... you know, scripturally, there's something called a showy display, right? And so people are putting things on display for a reason.
Absolutely.
And the reason is to be noticed, to be recognized, to be able to say, I spent $25,000.
Exactly.
Really? I really don't care.
I
really don't care.
Which makes me think about, you know, what we do in our practice for people that we serve in our agency, because when in our firm, when you have people that work really hard for the money that they make, right, and they want to protect that income as they're making it, and also build something for the future, they're going to listen to reasonable recommendations as to what to do with that money.
Absolutely.
And the education can be something as simple, get this, which blows my mind all the time. You can't help a person whose mindset is focused on material wealth. You can't help them understand something as simple as, if you get sick and you no longer can make income because you are the person creating that income, what do you have in place to help you or your family continue to pay your bills in the case that you no longer are able to make that income?
Take care of your monthly expenses. Yeah, so what Nikki is tying that to is more what we like to call duty of care. So we have an obligation to look after the needs of the client based on what they expressed our concerns to them. And then we even go further, we dig a little bit deeper to find out what else is going on. Why is that a concern? Where did they come from? Most people don't realize that they have a behavior, they have a relationship with money.
Right, absolutely.
And so the question is, what is your relationship with money?
Absolutely.
And that ties into what we like to call behavioral finance. So you have spenders, you have savers, and you have those that squeeze their hand as tight as they can, right? And so the reality is, I tell people this. I say, just open your hand. Just open your hand. All right, so you got an open hand. What can you do with that hand? You can give with that hand, and you can also receive with that hand.
Right.
So it's twofold. There's a benefit there. But if you're a spender, the money's burning a hole in your pocket. There's a reason for that. If you're a saver, there's a reason for that. There's an example that's somewhere in your line where somebody showed the example. Or if you're one of those people that do this, hold on tight, don't let go, somebody wasn't given to you.
Right.
And because of that, you're holding on to everything that you can, right? And then when you finally get a little bit of change in your pocket, now you want to spend it a certain way. More like a flashy approach.
Right.
Look at me. So I think that question that you asked her earlier, it comes back to, people that they're looking for something. They're looking for some validation.
This reminds me of one of the coldest quotes. I quote this. This is like my third episode that I had to set this quote, but it fits. Whenever this conversation comes up, it fits. And the quote says, "We spend money we don't have to buy things we don't need, to impress people we don't know, whose opinions don't matter.
That's it.
But we love doing it. It's like, it's almost reminds me. Y'all remember that like when I think the first Kanye song he ever dropped was like All Falls Down, and Kanye was talking about all the stuff that we buy just to get on. It's like we talk about what I'm gonna do with the money if I ever get it, then we get it. And then because psychologically there's something happening. So but here's the thing. I heard you talk about shoes. I was like, wait a second, I feel attacked. But, so I have, one of my students said to me, he said, Brother Henry, I love how you wear a different pair of shoes to school every day. He said, I've never seen you wear the same pair of shoes to school. They all match your outfit, whatever. And then I told him, I was like, want to know a secret? He said, yes, I didn't buy any of these shoes. He said, what I do is establish relationships. And I have a relationship with some very rich people. And so one of those relationships I have is with one of the coaches who worked at one of the big colleges. So the schools, when you're in the schools in that position, the schools buy you stuff all the time. But when you leave the school, you can't take none of the stuff with you because you're no longer at that school. So it would be like if you got all NIU gear, but now you're going to the University of Michigan. So now all your NIU stuff, you got to get rid of it. So when those friends move from spot to spot, me and my people get a phone call. So we come in. We literally came in and the home is immaculate, but we literally come in and there's just rows of shoes, suits. So I got like Italian suits. I had like $20,000 suit, and it's like, first, trust me, I didn't buy no $20,000 suit. I did go get a tailor to fit me. So it looks immaculate. I was like, oh, this looks different than my other suits, right? Yeah. So shoes, clothes, suits, designer, all kind of stuff. And I said, so it looks to the people that's looking for that. And I said, so in your eye, I said, you're looking at the thing, but you're not looking what it took for me to establish that relationship. Right. I said, because more important than any of those things is relationships. You can get things because things will come and go, but things are based on relationships. And if you're not good at establishing relationships, you're probably not going to get those things, or you're not going to keep those things. Because even if you make a lot of money, you gotta have you have to have somebody in your life that understands finances. If you don't, or you're gonna blow the money. You gotta have somebody that understands even how to build a system for you to be able to keep the money in place. You gotta like relationships. In my vantage point, relationships are so important. Yeah. When it comes to just everything, if you don't got the right relationships with. If you don't have a doctor in your life, and you're like, what's this lump? Right. That's a good time to have a relationship with a doctor in your life because. It might cost you. So like I'm a huge advocate for like, build the right relationships with people. Yeah. Because
on that note, that is a reflection of something that I've often said, and you may have heard me say this, is that your network equals your net worth.
Absolutely.
Right? And so the people that you have in your life by way of association doesn't mean that they physically have to be with you, but the people you connect to, whether it's a podcast, whether it's an audible recording, whether it's a book you read, or where maybe it was a seminar you attended, you end up building connections, and those connections become a part of you. And as a result of that, that also will then level you up.
Absolutely.
Okay. And oftentimes what you'll find is that people don't level up because they are not allowing others to pour into them. And they're not allowing themselves to get into environments where they can gain access. I'll give you an example. So being in the financial industry at this point, 15, 16 years, I think, right? And so being in the industry for so long, we've had the opportunity and privilege of being able to leverage and build relationships and connections with different people. And, to the extent that we're talking, no doubt, money and finance, how can you get your budget in order? Number two, how can you work on having the proper protection with the right insurance solutions, right? Does it include living benefits? Number three, are you looking at your retirement? What lens are you looking at it through? Are you looking at it just through a 401k, which is fine? Or are you allowing yourself to expand beyond that to get into what I like to call more of the tax advantage solutions, advanced planning, right? So we get into that space, and then we get beyond that, and we're asking questions like, okay, so we take care of that, then what's next? We're talking about short-term, mid-term, long-term goals. How do we organize all of that? And that goes back to relationships.
Absolutely.
That goes back to not what you know, it's who you know.
Right.
And when we look at those environments, I think about like even LinkedIn. It's the biggest social platform out there where you can connect with people that are thinking in the same mindset with business, right? Because quite honestly, the whole household is business.
Right.
Most people are not looking at their household and running it like a business.
Right.
You got money coming in, woo, splurge, spend, right?
On the same day, correct.
In the same day. It goes in the account one day and out the same day.
Absolutely.
So money is spent before it ever gets there. But at the end of it, it really comes down to, do you have the right people giving you the right information? And to be honest, on the other side too, are you asking the right questions? You can ask you can use ChatGPT, you can use Gemini, you can use Copilot, you can ask it questions. It's going to go search and find pieces of data, and it's going to give it back to you. Now you got some information. Now how do you use that?
How do you use it? Absolutely.
How do you use it? Right?
Absolutely.
And then when you engage with someone like us, you're asking us the right questions. Because a lot of times what we'll find too, because not everybody has the right people in their network.
Absolutely.
Somehow they'll get a hold of us. Somehow they'll come in contact with us. And as a result of that, we'll have an engagement conversation to find out what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's good.
What's going on in your life? Tell me about what's happening. And that's where you'll get a chance to really find out where that person's at.
And that's another, you bring up a good point, because you mentioned something about doctors earlier. People's financial situations should be assessed in the same way a doctor is going to assess your medical situation, right?
Absolutely.
Somebody that you just saw on YouTube or whatever you just saw
Back to that one.
giving you some random general advice about how you should go about what was the thing? Run the play or whatever, scamming folks. They know absolutely nothing about what your particular situation is. So when you're working with a financial professional, they should, okay? The right financial professional should be asking you questions about your habits and your goals and things like that. We have found that, especially in our community, our people, when they actually start interacting with a professional and you start asking them those probing questions, they shut down. They don't want to give information that is going to help this professional help you meet the goals that you have. Like they're either embarrassed to share or they feel like it's too personal. you're talking to a financial professional.
What Big Worm say?
Right.
Right.
Playing with my money like playing with my emotions.
Right.
And so that's how personal it gets.
It gets that personal.
What's interesting about what y'all are saying is, right, even across all the different people we brought on, is that it's the same result, it's just different industries. So we brought the therapist on, we was talking about, like, if you have a person that denies that they have trauma, then you're in America. It's almost impossible to not. Matter of fact, we can say it is impossible to not suffer from some type of trauma. But if you'll say to yourself, well, I don't have any trauma, well, the therapist can't help you grow in that area because you're denying reality, you know, or it's so uncomfortable, or you've grown so comfortable with chaos and dysfunction that when somebody brings you order and structure, you're like, nah, give me the dysfunction.
Right.
Give me
Give
me the dysregulation. I don't want regulation. Because if you talk regulation, I got to make changes.
Yes.
And then the financial world is the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. If I start telling you how my numbers operate, you might check me. You might find out, wait, why are you spending, you know,
accountability.
yeah,
Right.
you eat out how many times a week, right? Versus you do, you know what I'm saying? Like I had a brother come tell me, we're at the barbershop, at my brother's barbershop, and he's bragging to me. He's like, you know, my belt costs more than your whole outfit. And I was like, that's nice. And he's like, no, this is, you know, whatever, official, whatever. He's like, man, I guess, I don't know what his issue was. He's like, you're supposed to be the man for what I'm hearing, but, you know, my pants cost more than your car. And I was like,
I'd be like,
you know
so
what?
What's your emergency fund look like?
I was in my mind, I just let him talk, but I was like, I let him talk, but I was like, what's the cost? Like, what is your mortgage? What do you pay for your mortgage? Well, I've got a mortgage. I'm like,
Right.
And only thing I said to him though, I was like, when I talk to adults, we have different conversations. And it's over your head what I'm saying to you because you're having a childish conversation with an adult. So I'm not going to why would I entertain this conversation with you? There's nothing. Crazy. There's no come up for me. It's not. I've learned from you all that I'm about to learn already.
Exactly.
From your opening statement that your belt costs more than a car. I'm like, yo, who? Like, I would buy a belt that costs more than a car if this belt's gonna raise my children. It's gonna work part-time throughout the week. It's gonna cook me food. It's gonna give me a back massage every other day. If the belt can't do all of that, this ain't the belt for me. What about that belt over there that's $10 that actually holds my pants up?
That's it.
Right? Like that's the purpose of a belt. And a lot of times, especially in our community, we get away from we fall so in love with the marketing of everything.
That's how folks get trapped. It's that marketing, and so when you can't see the marketing fluff and stuff,
that's not real life.
Yeah, so it's like a fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh, one other thing. I'm gonna get to where we'll check time. I didn't get to where I want to get to, but so in the I don't know what we'll call this in the conscious community of the Black community, there's a very popular YouTuber by the name of Billy Carson. But Billy Carson, and I'm bringing this up based off what we talked about earlier about why you go see a financial professional versus the hot person. So long story short, at one point in time, he was selling a product and it was like, hey, invest in these crypto coins, whatever, you'll get all this money and all things will be great for you.
Yeah.
But when you start actually doing his background, right? You're like, let me see your P&L statement. You start actually doing the background, so somebody went and pulled the actual information. Number one, his name is not Billy Carson, right? He changed his name to match a professor who was teaching at Harvard.
Oh,
but the professor's name was Professor Billy Carson, but he changed his name. He did, and then if you go to Harvard's website, because there's not a picture on the name, it's just like a description, but not a picture.
Yeah.
So it makes you to think it's him. So you're like, oh, in the background on his name, there's like a diploma from Harvard, but it's not an actual diploma. If you go to their website, you can take free courses, like free independent courses. So there's one you can take for like 6 weeks on like, I don't know, ancient history studies or something. So you have a free class diploma looking thing, like a diploma mill in the background. Changed your name, been arrested for scams, like all kind of scams, but you're popular on YouTube because people don't vet people. And like and here's the thing that listening to you say that it goes two ways. One, we don't like being vetted because it exposes our weakness, but then we also don't like to vet because we just want somebody to say something sexy to us. Like the financial professional you sit down with, like, listen, this is going to take us 20 years to do this. That's not sexy. Versus the guru on YouTube is going to be like, listen, we can be rich. We can be rich 10 minutes from now. You know what I'm saying? Listen, all I need you to do is empty your life savings and give it to me. I know what to do with it, right? And then you like, all I gotta do is empty my life savings and give it to him. He knows what to do with it. And now you crying online. You know, it's going back to the Jay Morrison thing. When the Jay Morrison Tulsa real estate came out, like there were people, advocates saying, do not put your money here. Wow. This is a scam. This is not how real estate funds work. If you put your money here, it's never coming back. People were buying in at $500 blocks, and I forget the biggest investor. I forget the brother's name, but he put up like 42,000 or something like that. But at the same time that was happening, the NFL was sending out warnings to all the players like, "Do not invest here. This is a scam, right?" And he, you know, black people were like, "Oh, he's just a hater." Like, no, it's not just a hater.
Right.
It's not. It's just not real. Yeah. It's just you can put your money there, but you're going to lose your money, and it's almost like gambling. And it's like, oh, what's like any other Ponzi scheme? You're like, as long as I get it in the beginning, you know what I mean? I can make out with it. No, you need to see a financial professional. Right. I can't express enough.
So when it comes to that kind of stuff, I mean, in the years that we've been in business, we've had a number of folks come to us about different opportunities or situations. I say, okay, great. I'm glad you shared it with me. So let's do some research on it. Let's do some research on it. Let's do the homework. Make sure it's legit. Because at the end of the day, first and foremost, I'm not going to make any recommendations to a client that one is outside of my realm of expertise.
Absolutely.
Okay. And number two, any recommendation that I would ever give to a client is based on their current circumstances and what their future goals are. So it's got to be in alignment. And so back to your point about 20 years out, if a client's going to take, it's going to take 20 or 30 years to get to where they want to go, that's what I'm going to tell them.
Absolutely.
Right? And so there's no swinging for the fences and getting there in 6 months or a year. It's not going to happen like that. You know, a few things have to happen in order for that to work out. You might have to go get a job that's paying you $1 million a year. Then we can do it. Right. But most folks, they're making $25, $30 an hour, if that. You know, so
you're saying instant gratification?
It's not happening.
So the microwave generation. Even though we got microwaves in the kitchen.
You microwave your money. I mean, think about it this way. Just take another experience. Debt. I mean, a lot of folks are in debt.
Absolutely.
Right. It took them some time to get there. It's going to take time to get out. Right. So they have to get with a professional that understands how debt works. And then even with the student loan conundrum that exists, that's looming, and folks are trying to figure out how am I going to pay this student loan. It just went up.
That's a whole nother subject.
That's a whole nother animal. And so as a practice, I can assure you that we actually look at all of that stuff when it comes to helping our clients figure out what their game plan is really going to be. And so we have a lot of fun doing it. And just like this conversation today right now, you got me thinking about a whole bunch of stuff, but it's not going to get done. We're not going to talk about it in this whole segment. In this whole segment. But there's a lot out there. There's a lot to know.
So much. Actually, in my mind, while you're talking, there was a lot going through my head, and I was like, we could just talk about this next. But for sake of the podcast, I'm gonna stop beating up on the same, because it's kind of like the same point. But it's like it's so simple that it's not that it gets missed all the time, because it's so simple, and we prefer the sexy thing over the realistic thing. And it's like, listen, if it's that easy for you, it's probably not good for you. It's probably just not good.
And it's like that in every aspect of your life in the community, right? Relationships.
Absolutely.
You know, money, spirituality, health, you know,
mental health,
whatever it is. It's like that across the board. So,
all right. So this is what we're gonna do. So normally, right, my show is broken into segments. So we have these segments, and we have a segment called Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever typically is where people either get their black pass or they get trespassed. Now, we've had some trespassers trying to get into the barbecue that just did not qualify. We're not gonna do that per se today, because y'all my people. I'm gonna sneak y'all in through the back door. All right? Y'all come into the barbecue. I gave y'all passes, but
we're gonna check your pass ratio.
DC said I'm giving out too many passes. I'm like, that's my brother. He in here. All right, he in here with me. Okay, we in here. But so we're gonna do something fun. that I want people to be able to get like an inside look, because how many people that's going to watch the podcast actually have financial professionals in their life and know them and have a relationship with them, right? And so I'm gonna ask y'all some questions. Y'all can answer how you see fit. So we already in Wakanda. We're already there. All right. This is for those watching who now in the barbecue, but maybe your finances and maybe your relationship with money, and just there's so many different angles when it comes to like finances and money and just being able to have a healthy financial relationship. So I want them to see y'all as people, right? Not just the professionals, but the people. Well, I have a relationship personally, so I know. So I was like, how can I convey this on camera so they can see y'all, the person, the people? So, all right, I'm gonna ask y'all some questions. Question 1, in y'all relationship now, because y'all the financial professionals, who controls money in a relationship?
Ooh.
How does that
First
work?
of all, there's no such thing as control of money.
I like how Francisco's face was like, oh.
Yeah. Like the way he was just like, you got it. Go rock with her hands.
You should not use that.
Is the answer.
You should not use the term control money in a relationship. That is
So we say manage?
manage
Manage,
would be a
work together.
better,
Better?
yeah,
Money's
partner,
Partner. It's a team approach. I mean,
teamwork.
Real talk. I mean, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, what it comes down to is that money is a conversation, right? It's a conversation. It's a necessary conversation. You know, whether I spend or she spends, the question mark becomes, at what level do we say, let's have a conversation over this
Right.
spending level?
Gotcha,
Does it make
gotcha.
sense? And
So you're not just running out buying a car and be like, hey, babe.
Right.
Right.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
I got that. Okay, I picked that. I got that. So then these questions are set up in a way because the people that's watching, like, when we have these different conversations, especially when we talk to couples and we have conversations, it's like, how do y'all run your relationship? Like, give people so people can see how your relationship runs. And then it's always hilarious hearing the couples be like, no, this is it. But also though, the way different couples approach different things.
Yeah.
Because I had my nephew on. He's big in real estate, but he's also big in health, right? But his thing is he likes golf and like just being, what did he say to me? He said, I'm learning to be emotionally available. So that's an interesting conversation. It's like,
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about that, right? Yeah, how the therapist like, how's that working out for you? Like, because now people see the successful side of you, but also outside of whatever you do that makes you successful is like, how do you handle life? Like, how does the other parts of life work, right?
Exactly,
So I think it's I think it's healthy for us because one, we look at relationships in our community and
It's a hot mess.
it's a mess, right? It's like people like, we need to do a relationship episode one day and just have all couples and be like, tell us about relationships, right? Because the way we're doing relationships nowadays is
It's
crazy.
ridiculous. Yeah.
It is.
So what's the question here?
Yeah.
All right, let's go there. All right, let's go there. All right.
I love her.
Yeah, let's go there.
Yeah, let's move on.
I love it.
Have y'all ever had an argument about money that almost went left?
Well, yeah.
All the time. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had it in the past. Absolutely.
Like, what does that look like for y'all? Because I'm seeing y'all from a different level. So what does it look like for y'all?
Well, let's put it this way. Nikki and I, we've been together since we were 16. And so we came up together, right? So there was a lot to learn from being teenagers to teenage parents.
Y'all only 25 now.
That's right. That's right. So from being teenagers to being parents as teenagers to being grown folks, adults.
Right.
And so there was levels to understanding, one, how we making money, two, how we paying the bills, three, how we saving, four, how we investing, five, what's our next move, right? And so have we had arguments? Heck yeah, we've had arguments, but we had to get to learning each other. Hence the reason I brought up earlier, behavioral finance.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, I got a behavior with money too, right? I got a relationship, and when you grow up poor, it's kind of like you're gonna do some things. You're gonna figure some stuff out.
Right. Those behaviors, again, like I said earlier, they're across the board. It's
Gotcha.
not when you have a certain tendency to behave a certain way, it's going to show up in different areas of your life.
So then, for the follow-up question, even though y'all pretty much answered it, but they say the man or the woman you pick to be with can either be your best or your worst decision you make in life.
Absolutely.
So how is your partner, or would you describe your partner as an asset or a liability?
Oh, wow.
I'm going to say assets.
That's a successful answer.
Assets.
Look, if the question, if it would have took you, if you would have went,
let me frame it up for you too, though. So let me frame it up for you. So the liability scenario would be if you couldn't figure it out.
right,
And if it took you a long time to figure it out, because the longer it takes you to figure something out, it takes you longer to become successful. And so if you're moving towards the same goal, same direction, you're going to have to figure that out real fast.
Right.
Because if you see one of you moving faster than the other, you're going to have to figure out to make yourself an asset. Because otherwise you're going to get left behind.
Right.
And that relationship, depending on where that relationship is going.
Right.
Because you can either grow together or you can grow apart. And in money, it's the same thing.
Gotcha.
So you both got to be working on leveling up. And it's okay that one person gets here faster, but it's okay to pull them up too.
Gotcha.
So you got to be willing to do that too.
That's a dope analogy. I like that.
And it's also, again, with how relationships are a mess today, people listening to social media. Again, social media is a mess with that. But
And here we are talking on the podcast.
right,
And this social media.
I know.
But we talked about being licensed, not being
Right.
in marriage.
And real talk.
A marriage certificate is a license to
That's
give
true.
relationship
Right.
advice
That's
on
true.
real things that have happened, not that you played house and
Exactly.
you're guessing what it
Right.
would be like.
Exactly.
I take that with a grain of salt.
An experience, right?
Yeah.
So, like he mentioned, we've been a couple since we were 16, and we got married when we were 21. One thing, 20. One thing I feel like Tony Francisco and I have done really well over the years, even though it was hard, is that growing, we grew up together, but we gave each other that space to grow. When he grew and I noticed that there was something different, maybe he didn't care for that dish anymore, or maybe he didn't have this particular perspective anymore. I wasn't what is the word, threatened by it, or felt challenged by it. It was like, oh, okay, here's something different. Now we have to get to know each other in a different way. And your relationship goes through all those different phases. But people, I don't know where people get this idea, feel like a relationship means no conflict. There's going to be conflict. You're going to have differences in opinion. The thing is, how quickly do you repair?
Yeah.
How quickly can you come to the same level of understanding? Or, it doesn't mean that I agree.
Right.
I may not necessarily, right. I just need to understand where you are and where you're coming from. And so that's why we consider each other to be an asset. I was just telling him today I was having a hard time with something. And I said, babe, thanks for encouraging and supporting me through that season that I was in, because as we were reflecting on it, he was there to help me through it, and I'm the same way with him. So yeah, it's just, people have to look at the reality of life. Things aren't going to be roses and unicorns and rainbows all the time, but that's okay. Yeah.
No.
Go off into the sunset.
Exactly.
Moonlight hits us perfect.
Yeah.
And, within that is embodied in conflict and chaos. I'll say conflict and chaos. Often something's going to bloom really good, but you've got to have some of that, a degree of that, in order to start seeing what's different in the relationship,
Gotcha.
and then starting to understand the uniqueness of what's happening right now. I oftentimes will talk about a butterfly story, right? And in the butterfly story basically highlights, a caterpillar goes into a cocoon, and he's got this chrysalis working around him, and inside that cocoon something's happening.
Absolutely.
And God saw fit to close up that activity. So it was kind of like an ugly space, right? And some things you just don't want to see. But here's what happens. When you start seeing that cocoon move around and everything, you start seeing things punch out at the side. You have a desire to try to help that little caterpillar, butterfly, whatever it is at that moment, come out.
Right.
And what you're doing in that moment is you're actually killing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're killing that
Growth,
would be
that
that growing butterfly, because they actually get stronger as they go through their processes internally. And so it's like in relationships, one half of us might be going through something, and you got to allow it to happen.
Right.
And when you allow it to happen, what comes out on the other side is something better than what was that. There's something better. And so the idea is, don't poke at the cocoon. Let it take place. Let it happen naturally. Trust the process. And when you allow that to happen, and you're both healthy in the relationship, and you understand where each other's at, you give room the space to say, okay, let's handle it.
I feel like
what you
a
gotta
main
do.
sign of immaturity in a relationship is to hear somebody say, well, you're not the same as you were 20 years ago.
No, you ain't supposed to be the same.
Are you kidding
That's a
me?
great thing.
Right.
Life is either growth
Or death. Right.
There's no in between.
No, if you ain't growing, you dying.
that's
And what did
right.
Les Brown say? He said that most men die at the age of 21. They just don't get around to burying you until you're 60. You
That's
know,
crazy.
because a lot of the dreams, goals that most men have are buried in the graveyard. They
Absolutely.
would have been. But, you know, and that's due oftentimes to not being able to physically, mentally, and emotionally grow and spiritually.
And have
That's
a
deep.
partner that's going to help you do
That's
that.
deep.
Because
Yeah.
your partner makes a difference. The partner can take you back 10 years or put you ahead 10 years.
That's deep. So since you're a financial couple,
Yeah.
right? Let me ask this question.
Uh-oh.
What is, in your opinion, like the dumbest thing or whatever word you want to fill in that your partner's ever purchased? Or something that you'd be like, why you purchase that? Like, what's something that your partner got that you just, it put a question mark over your head? Like, huh?
Yeah.
What's this about?
I don't know. I think our thing is, if you like it, I love it. Kind of. It's like, I don't know. What's something I purchased that you, right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No,
Hey,
what?
you interject?
I'm not buying it.
I can't think of
Y'all been
anything.
together since I was 16.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that neither one of you had made a purchase where the other one kind of lifted their eyebrows, was like,
Okay, well, I mean, you remember when I went and bought that one car?
I did
Yeah,
think,
there-
like,
there-
just now
yeah,
think
yeah,
about that.
yeah, I gotta pull it out, bro.
But he was, I don't know, we were in our early 20s.
We was in our early 20s, and I was just doing some stuff.
Yeah, he did. He came home with the car, and I was like, take it back. I was like, what are you doing?
Got more mileage on that good deal.
I was like, nope, take it. He took it back. I don't know how you managed it. I don't know how you managed it.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing: it actually worked out that it was good to take it back, because that wasn't a good move on that for that time. For that timeline, that wasn't a good move to buy that one.
So, yeah, that was one.
Yeah, but I can't think of anything that
Because
you
there has to be
bought.
something that was like, okay, we have to implement this rule that if we're going to spend this amount here,
Yeah.
then we need to consult with each other.
Yeah, for you
You
just
know
go.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I am a very simple person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a lot. I don't want a lot. So I don't buy a lot.
Yeah.
This one.
let's say for our grandbaby.
Oh, the grandbaby.
Yeah,
Oh,
you-
that's little stuff.
You got to answer the right question.
You got time?
Oh, the grandbaby can have whatever the grandbaby want. Now, come on, now.
What's y'all take on this? This is like a side question. What's y'all take on this? Do you, how I ask it? So do you feel like you should, like, let's say you're the person that's out front, right? Y'all the owners. So is there an expectation for you to look a certain way, right? For your people. Because like if I'm coming to you for, especially dealing with black people, because you know how materialistic we are. So when I
Yeah.
come to you, you might have all the answers,
Yeah.
but you pulled up in a Honda, and then the guru that's on YouTube is
Yeah.
showing off his Ferrari. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to the Ferrari person. You know, that the person that's not his Ferrari.
Yeah.
He's about to scam me.
Yeah.
The Honda
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
has the answer. So how y'all feel about that?
So it's kind
It's
of
unfortunate, but yeah.
What you gonna say
No,
to
no.
that?
I agree with your perspective on this.
it is unfortunate that folks have to see something and say, I guess I'll believe them because they driving this, or they live in this zip code, or they wearing this, or they got that watch on, that Petit Philippe, whatever. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna listen to them. That's unfortunate.
Very.
Oh, but let me give this preface this as a disclaimer. Let's stop doing that. Let's stop doing that. Let's stop gauging what type of advice, recommendations you're going to receive based upon what that person has.
Materially.
So if you're looking at material things, then you're looking at the wrong thing. You missed the point.
I'll give you an example. We have had a few clients walk into our office of different nationalities, not black people. One guy walked in, had these ratty shoes on, just real baggy jeans, long beard, t-shirt, overalls, walked into the office, and he needed to roll over the money from his retirement
So
account.
let's just keep it simple on that.
Okay.
So in that particular instance, the individual said, hey, I need some help with my plan. I'm retiring and just about nearly $1 million. What can you
$1
do?
million you would see that man on the street and think he had nothing.
Right? And so, so with Nikki's point, that's why it's important to not judge based on what you see.
Right.
Because it's kind of like in the scriptures when God made the decision on who to choose to be king over Saul. Saul lost his position, and then he went to David's family's house, and he said, well, not that one. Then the way y'all see is not the way I see. Because the way Elijah saw that man, he was like, that's the one. This must be the one he's chosen. He said, I've declined on him. And he said, go find the other boy, the one that's in the field, right? The ruddy one is what they call it, right? There you go. And so what you see with your own eyes, let that not be the decision maker for you. Now, is it nice to have nice things? Yeah, it is. I ain't gonna argue that point. Does it speak that maybe that person's had some success? Yeah, it does, right?
It may.
Because they can afford to do certain things. But don't lean on that all the time.
Absolutely. You just made me think about a t-shirt I'm gonna get for this summer that's gonna say outcomes over appearances. I'm gonna quote that. Hey, don't go steal my idea. Okay? Outcomes over appearances. The results are more important. The results are like when you go to a doctor, use a doctor example. If your doctor comes into the office and looks like completely different than how you expect him to look, you may be like, who's this dude that's about to diagnose me? But he's like, listen, you're a stage 1 with cancer. We caught it. We can get you cured. You don't care what that person looks like.
You don't care.
Right.
He's a jeans and a t-shirt.
I tell people all the time when they come to school, I was like, listen, I'm going to wear a jogging outfit 99% of the time in school, but find who in this state can get your child the results that I can. So you can judge. Like, I had a mother come in once and she was like, he got a gold chain on. What kind of principal are you? Like, the kind that gets results. Now, the principal that you had that was dressed up at your child's school, why are you bringing your child here? Because that principal was dressed how you think that principal should have been dressed, but you're here. So it's not just the dress, but what's in the person that you're going. Now, other times I dress professional, of course, but for the most part, I like being comfortable in my workout. Comfortable, but definitely it got to be results over appearances all day long. And it's got to be. And
you have to be aligned with that idea. So it's kind of like, as an example, oftentimes you'll find me in suits, right? Suits and ties, suited and booted, in my office. But nowadays you got Zoom, right? So I do business in 43 states. So I can do business on Zoom from my office, suited and booted. But at times, I could also walk around in jeans just the same. And guess what? The advice, the recommendation is not going to be any different. It's not going to be any different. So, so again, at the end of the day, you as an owner, you figure out what makes you comfortable, what aligns you to what you're doing, and then how you're going to help those people. Back to the point, how you're going to get the results. And I have access to the companies that help to get the results.
And then your clients give referrals. So when the referring client comes in, or the person that the client referred, they're not necessarily concerned too much about the dress because they trust the person that gave the referral. So, but we do always present professionally anyhow. But
because we're here to serve our clients, and we want to make sure that, keep it in mind, we if you understand what I'm saying, we have to work harder than the most, right? We have to work harder. And so That's just,
The
how things
appearance
are
does
right now.
matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So appearance does matter.
What I will say now, I'm about to go into the next subsegment, but I will say this, just knowing y'all for all this time, it's always been mind-boggling to me that, like, we have y'all in our city, and, like, y'all are, in my opinion, from what I've seen, and I've been around y'all for at least a decade, that y'all are, like, an example of what we can have and do and be. We stay consistent, and, like, there's just not, I would think, in my mind, there should be a consistent flow of us, like, how do I get to y'all to get my life in order? Because there's so much disorder, but instead it's like concert tickets and the casinos popping and the new Raising Cane's opens up and they got a line. It's like, it's confusing to me, like, like, I just don't, I'll be understanding sometimes, because people come to me all the time and they ask for stuff, and I'm like, I can't give you, not only am I not the person to give you that advice, one thing I'm great at doing is bringing you to the people I go get advice from.
That's right.
Like, no.
We can give
there's
you
a
this.
whole nother episode on that
Yeah,
too.
it definitely is.
We can give you that. Go to therealfrancisco.com.
Oh yes,
Right.
therealfrancisco.com,
That's
y'all.
it.
Check it out.
Therealfrancisco.com.
Get y'all opinion on this. Acceptable or foolish?
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Somebody on Section 8 coming to your office with a $2,000 outfit on, but don't want to take your advice. Acceptable or foolish?
Now come on.
I didn't write these.
Henry.
You gotta say.
Acceptable or foolish?
Foolish. What do
It's
you
so
mean?
crazy when I see some of this in real life. Though.
I would tell you that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible. I mean, I'm not going to make any comments or judgments on it.
I am.
But what I will say,
I listened and I judge. I'm judging that person.
That's-
So okay, it could be foolish, but if that person's what is their motivation? Why are they in
Right.
Section
At least if
8?
they come to your office,
You
at least
know.
they coming to see you. That's the only
Right.
positive I can make. But if you're not taking their advice, it's like going to the doctor and the doctor tells you can't eat red meat, and you like, nah.
Yeah.
And then
Bump
tonight's
that.
diet is
Right,
so
right.
if they turn around and say, listen, I'm not going to take your advice, I'm not going to do anything you recommended, then it's a no conversation.
It's
Right.
foolish.
It's literally within the 15 minutes. If I'm having a conversation with you and you tell me you can't afford to put something away, you got a $2,000 suit on, as you just stated, right? You got a $2,000 fit. Where you get that from?
Right, right.
You should have used that to pay rent, but you ain't paying rent either,
Right.
right?
You gonna say if you go to Section 8, your bills is like $5 a month. Come on,
Right,
get together.
right.
You know, most people don't realize that though. When you got Section 8, you got a link card, you got a medical card. That's really a $5,000 life on a monthly basis when you really figure out the
They don't
numbers.
look at it like that.
No, they don't see it that way, and that's unfortunate. And again, I'm not going to get into politics or anything like that. But Jesus did say the poor will always be with you, but he didn't say that it was always going to make the best decisions either.
No, definitely not. I know some porters. Moving on.
So we get on a whole other topic.
Wait, before I ask this question, did y'all hear about the working bags that came out? So you know there's Birkin bags, right? Walmart did a line called working bag with a W instead of a B. Same material, same exact bag. They were $500 instead of like $5,000 or $10,000, $15,000. You know, Birkin bags I've seen for like $35,000, $40,000.
Yeah.
Walmart came out with the exact same material. They sold out. Like,
What does it mean if I don't even know what a Birkin bag is?
It
What does that mean?
probably means prices was smiling.
Keeping you happy.
What does that mean?
Here's something I learned too. It's not a knock to everybody. I got a lot of designer stuff, so it's not a knock.
Yeah.
But if you need a label,
Right.
feel if you need a label to feel complete, you're never gonna feel complete. Because it's like once you get the label, there's a new label that comes out. And like new clothing line, the clothing lines drop. There's a fall line, there's a spring line, there's a summer line. Like you're never gonna feel complete if you need that label. So not knowing what a Birkin bag is in it. It just means that
It's a purse, right?
It probably means you're financially astute. That's what it
Okay.
probably means.
It's
It
a
means
purse.
you have some financial.
A purse carries
some financial
things. I
knowledge.
don't need to pay $5,000
What was
to
that?
do that.
I think I saw something on Club Shay Shay where a sister came on and she said, "Well, I got like 20 Birkin bags."
Yeah.
And again, she
I can
uses
tell you
them as
everything about her
investment.
lifestyle. Oh, Just Hilarious was talking about her bags.
And I'm
being
like,
investments.
how's that an investment?
Yeah.
You know,
Nah,
ain't nobody buying no bag when the markets are down.
Yeah, and used and for a large population of girls that live that lifestyle, when you start asking the question like, how did you get it? That's the rabbit hole. Once you go down that rabbit hole, it's not even something that it's like, oh. Okay.
And I think that's a problem too, like using improper terms, like saying I bought this Birkin bag as an investment. When like it doesn't go up in value.
No.
Right.
It's not an asset.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah.
It's not an asset. It's not an asset class as far as I know. Right? It doesn't fit the model.
If you want to put your money in a Birkin bag, you're literally going to have to physically take cash
And put it in
the actual bag. But not knowing what a Birkin bag is not a knock. And that's the thing. Like psychologically, so much. Our community in particular is so backward psychologically because we're so moved by like brand
Stuff.
So what's
marketing.
this Walmart bag
So
thing?
Walmart came out with a version of the working bag called the working bag. Like a W instead of a B. It's sold out though. It's sold out because it looks exactly, and you know why it looks the same? Because the thing people don't realize, it's made in the same factory.
Oh,
It
wow.
is the same. It's like Shaq talking about his shoes, like my shoes and Jordan's shoes made in the same factory.
Wow.
But when Stephon Marbury talked about when he went to China, he's like, the Marburys, and when Stephen Barry's was a thing, he's like, yeah, my shoes cost $10, but my shoes and Jordans are the exact same shoe with a different logo.
Wow.
So you're paying $200 for this logo versus $10 for this logo. It's the same shoe.
Yeah.
And he has to, what's the purpose of the shoe? To protect your feet?
Right.
It's like, do Jordans protect your feet differently? Like, you know, only thing I know is that protects your feet differently, like steel toe boots.
Jordans protect your ego.
They protect your ego, right?
Yeah.
They protect your,
So on that note, then the question becomes, and this is disclaimer. There's no suggestion of buying or selling or anything like that. But when you're going to go after brands and own brands, do you actually own the stocks of those brands?
that's a whole different
That's the question.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so if you're going to promote buying this company over that company, do you own any shares, any equity stake in that?
Just like you don't own the house on the block that they play. This is the mentality.
I mean, Beyonce actually did a good job with this. She said, pay me in equity, right? Don't write me a check, pay me in equity. So the question is, are you an owner or are you just a consumer?
Right. That's a whole different.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's good. $500 Jordans with no insurance. What are we doing? Somebody, $500 pair. Or let's take it up. Louis Vuitton. You got some $2,500 Louis Vuitton gym shoes on. No insurance. What do
See
you
that makes me angry. So I can't even have this conversation because I get really heated by that. Insurance people oh gosh, go ahead, Vic.
I mean, I can't even talk about that you get heated
I can't even talk about it
because that means people buy something.
And
protect themselves.
It's so sad. It is so incredibly sad. Like if people took their real life experiences and applied it to something as simple as insurance, perhaps they would change their mind. But there's a disconnect. There's some disconnect that is making people not able to actually understand how wealthy people use these products. So I'll give you 2 examples. I had a friend, no names.
Okay.
I had a friend. She was diagnosed with breast cancer. And there's a product that we offer all of our clients with life insurance that has what's called living benefits. Living benefits on a term product means that whatever the death benefit is on your term product, you can use a portion of that money while you're living for a qualifying chronic, critical, or terminal illness. Terminal illness riders generally come on most term products and some other life insurance products, but the chronic and critical don't. So all of us at some point in our life are going to get sick. No question about it. You're going to get sick before you die. This person, we offered it to her. Nope. Didn't want it multiple times. Very close person to me. I watched her go through this battle and have no money to support her, to pay her bills, to her medical expenses. She was like looking for money from the state to just live. And I know that the quality of care she received was affected by the fact that she didn't have the money to take care of certain things that she had. Had she done what we asked her to do a few years earlier, she could have had access to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Wow. You just gave me another t-shirt idea. Don't steal this, y'all. Life insurance over GoFundMe's.
Oh, see, that's another one.
And there we go, right
That's
there. I tell everybody this: we are literally at war with GoFundMe. I'm surprised that they haven't started an insurance company yet. But the reality is to Nikki's point, you know, this does get very personal.
It's very frustrating.
Because when you have people around you that you know and love and care about, and they don't accept what you offer them because they're thinking in the short term, oh, it's going to cost me money. You know what? Here's the deal.
That latte is going to cost you money.
That's
Them
what
gym shoes that you talking about
them
going to cost you money.
$2,500 shoes, that $2,000 suit that person wear, whatever. The reality is life insurance is very inexpensive. It's very affordable. Very, very affordable. And because it's so affordable, everybody should own it.
Everybody.
As long as they can qualify. And there's a caveat. I mean, our community, unfortunately, think about diabetes, heart disease, what do you call the other stuff? High blood pressure.
But
don't think of it as illnesses.
Because think about this, right? If you're not thinking about diabetes, if your diet doesn't reflect that you're not going to live forever. Well, here's the thing: we all die, but the quality of life. If your diet doesn't reflect the quality of life, your relationships don't reflect the quality of life, and everything else, then it's like life insurance. In order for insurance to even have value, you have to value yourself first. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a huge problem if you don't value yourself.
Yeah. So keep this. So take this and run with this one then. So. It's one thing to value yourself, but oftentimes when people will do things not for themselves, they'll do it for somebody else.
Yeah, that part too.
So here's the point. So if you're married, you got kids, and you don't have life insurance, what you're saying is that you don't care about your family. Because if you pass away and you're the primary wage earner in your household,
you get sick.
Or if you get physically sick, critically or chronically, cancer, heart attack, stroke, or a activity of daily living you can't do 2 out of 6 because of an accident or some situation, or Alzheimer's or dementia, well, for goodness sakes, you're saying that I'm really not thinking about my family. How your bills gonna get paid?
Right.
Because you can only go to work for so long through an illness before they say, you know what, but this ain't gonna work.
I watched my friend have to work and go to chemotherapy.
Wow.
You know.
That's sad, actually.
And so it's all based on a simple decision. I've heard numerous stories. I got a bunch of stories of my own, but I've also seen other people in stories. And they just signed the paperwork and let the check get drafted from the account, they'd have been covered. And their family would have been taken care of. You know, and that's just a simple thing with an affordable term insurance.
Right.
I mean, if you go back historically, black folks used to own a lot of insurance, but nowadays it's not as the same like in 1964. It used to be one of them things that the family got right away. Grandma's got policies for the kids got policies for their kids, but nowadays it's not even the same. It's like...
That's because those grandparents, they were the steward over that. And then the grandchildren, the children just became the recipients, and that knowledge wasn't passed down.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of that.
Yes.
And, you know, I've seen even just, working with clients here in the local market for 15 years, I could see easily, certain policies were sold and they were told to fund it a certain way. But they weren't really taught how to actually fund them properly. It would have been hundreds of thousands of dollars in some of these policies. But due to the lack of education and how to fund, that becomes an issue too.
You said something in the beginning of the podcast that I want to bring back to your office by asking this next question.
Yeah.
You used 2 words in an order. You said advanced planning. I thought about something I heard in your office all the time. Is that people don't plan to fail.
It's fail to plan.
They fail to plan.
Yeah.
And it's like rich people think in future terms. And so like, why can't I get rich? Well,
wealthy people.
Right?
Think in future terms.
Why can't I get there? Well, if you live for the now, that's like the microwave.
Right.
Your food's gonna be warm now, but the cost of that warm food, 20 years from now,
it's gonna affect
when your lungs are radiated. You know what I mean? There's gonna be a cost.
Yeah.
Like everything in life has a cost attached to it.
You're gonna pay a price.
You're gonna pay a price. You can either pay for what you don't know. You can pay for what you don't know up front, or pay for what you didn't know in the back end. Either way, you're gonna pay.
Right.
All right. We almost at the end. Oh, I think this movie. We almost at the end, just for time's sake. But I got a lot more.
Let's go.
I have to bring y'all back for part 2.
Here we go.
So I'm gonna ask y'all to give advice, not financial advice, in a sense, but dating advice financially, if this makes sense. So here's a question: what's a financial red flag for somebody that's dating? Like somebody looking to date somebody, what would you consider a financial red flag?
You know, I'm gonna tell you this right now. We ain't dated. I mean, we date each other.
Think about
Couples
our
date.
kids.
About our kids.
Let's think about
you
our
could talk
kids.
to them about what would be a
Yeah.
financial red flag that they could look for in a dating relationship.
Well, you know, one thing I would say, if you're the one constantly paying for everything all the time, you know, so the question becomes, are you going out with me because I can pay for everything? You know?
You just a breadwinner in a dating relationship, right?
Right. So,
I would
it
say
depends on how serious it
even
gets.
for young people, and I don't know, I think about it in terms of young people when I think about dating, but how established is each person
There we go.
as individuals?
How grounded are you
How
financially?
grounded are you as an individual? Are you living on your own? You know,
Right.
are you paying bills successfully? Right?
Are you taking care of yourself?
Are you taking care of yourself? Or do you have a consistent, steady job?
Right.
And
Steady flow.
income coming, steady flow. Like just signs of how this person is living. Do they care about their health?
Do you have
Right? Are
regular
they
financial goals?
Do they have regular goals with that? So just observing how they're living overall. Observation, yeah.
And that's actually a really good thing, to be able just to quietly observe.
Right.
You know, you don't have to say everything. Everything don't need to be said.
I would say a person with a lot of material things is hiding something financially.
They're probably just in a lot of debt.
Right. They're
And mentally,
just spent it.
right.
and
Big
mentally,
red flag.
there's some therapy. There's gonna be some therapy, some things that whether you take therapy or not, there's gonna be
Yes.
some
Yeah.
mental things that
Yes.
come out that you're gonna deal with on that
Yes.
side of
Yes.
it because they're definitely compensating. All right, in the dating scene, this is stupid. They have a credit score under 600 but got designer everything on. Should they
That's
run
a
or
problem.
stay?
Run.
Designer everything, but the credit score is under 600.
It's the
They
same
don't
thing
care.
with what we were just talking about.
Hell. Without the designer, the credit score is under 600.
That's the
Yeah,
point.
yeah, right, yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Wow.
mean, the
Your
question.
priorities are obviously not.
Yeah,
in
the
right
question
place.
is, do you have a game plan to get that credit score up? You know, you can wear the designers. I don't care. That's fine. But what's your game plan to get this credit score
Right.
up? Because let's say if you working out as a couple, you talking about getting married, and you both going to be working on a mortgage or something like that. Can you even qualify? Are you going to try to lean on that 580? Or that FHA with 1% down, 3% down? Is that what you leaning on?
Wow.
You know.
Lean on a 580 is the craziest quote I have ever heard.
You know,
That's
is that what
crazy.
you're doing? Right?
Wow.
You know, do you have a game plan for the next 6 months, next 12 months? What you gonna do? What you doing?
That's
And are you leaning on what is it, the Vantage score or your actual FICO?
that's
know,
insane.
Because there's a difference between the two.
Absolutely. For y'all, if you don't know what we're talking about in this section, that's a problem. You need to call Francisco and Nikki immediately if you don't know what we're talking about right now. All right, next one. If someone comes to you and you're telling them about budgeting, but they say, I do all my budgeting here. I know this got to be real. Because I know I talk to people that's like, I don't write it down, but I know it here.
Yeah, that don't
Again,
help.
that's a red flag.
Definitely a red flag.
What is the book? Think and Grow Rich. Think Out Loud. So you know, if you got goals, you got to write them things down and look at them at least twice a day.
It just shows again that they haven't gotten to a place where they're serious about taking care of their finances.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It don't help in your head.
This is tough. What would you say if a man spends $30,000 on his girlfriend in 3 months and then goes broke and then comes to see you? How do you? What? Anyway, yeah, spends $30,000 on a girlfriend in 3 months, then goes broke.
What do you mean? What would we say?
What can you say? I don't know.
There's nothing to say. Again, your priorities are all
Whack.
Yes, yes,
Mm.
yes.
You know, there's a scripture
And why
that
are you
says,
spending $30,000 on a girlfriend?
Oh, no, that's what I was
First of all,
saying. Yours.
what are we talking about?
How did you get the $30,000 is my question to spend.
there we go. That's why.
How did you get
What's
that?
your current cash flow situation?
Yeah.
How did you get that? How long did it take you to save it?
Right.
You know, maybe you got an income where you earn 10 grand
No,
a month.
he said he went broke.
Yeah.
Well, he lost. He's done. He spent this 30,000.
Yeah.
So now he got to re up
I guess.
over the next 3 months.
Oh, this is a real story. This is crazy.
A real story.
That's real. Okay, we're not even gonna do that part of it. So I'm gonna do this last part of the segment so we can get out of here. Okay, so this is insane. I just looked at this. I was like, oh, this is real. I thought they was okay. So the last segment of the podcast we call it Hustle Bowl. In the Hustle Bowl, it's completely unscripted. We don't know what the questions are, right? But you have 3 topics to pick from: hustle, funny, spicy. Just so you know, like Ariel says, spicy is not whatever you think in your mind. Like spicy, it's not that.
No.
We've been through several spicy questions, and I was like, oh, disappointed. So you can pick from, right? Hustle, funny, spicy, and then you're just gonna pick a number 1 through 20. So you pick a subject, you pick a number, whatever subject and number you pick, DC has a question ready to go based on whatever topic and whatever number you pick. And then you just answer it to the best of your ability. And it's pretty simple. Hustle ball.
You want to do funny?
I'm thinking hustle.
Oh,
But we can go with your funny right now.
okay.
Each one of y'all can pick we'll do like 2 each. And then we'll do 2 each.
Funny
in that
number
episode.
10.
Funny number 10. Funny number
Yeah.
10. Yeah, I have more, but it's
All
just
right. What's something you avoid until it becomes a problem? Example, like emails. What is something that you avoid until it becomes a problem?
Text messages. But I don't really avoid things until they become a problem.
Yeah, I work hard not to avoid
Yeah. Nothing becomes a problem because I don't want it to become a problem. So
Because you got conflict avoidance.
I do. Conflict avoidance.
Yeah, that's how you avoid conflict, by not
Avoiding it. Right.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't avoid things because I don't like conflict. So
Way.
yes.
And I guess the science is if you handle it when it's small, it never
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
It doesn't snowball if you handle it.
Exactly.
If you handle it as a snowball, it doesn't become an avalanche.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So get to it right now.
Yeah.
I dig that.
So your turn. Yeah.
My turn.
Topic and number 1 through 20.
Let's go hustle for 15.
Hustle for 15. Hustle for 15.
I feel like this Price is Right or something.
Yeah, we kind of got it set up kind of game showish, you know. You gotta, because normally you gotta qualify to get into what kind
He
of.
just passing on.
I just gave y'all free passes, y'all's my people. But normally you gotta like, for example, let me tell them about the lady who didn't make it in. We gave her a lyric to a song, and the lyric said, "Even though I sell rocks, it feels good put money in the mailbox." And I said, just to give us the song and the artist. And then she was like, what did she say? 2 Chainz or something? I'm
I don't
like,
know what she said.
what?
She said the right answer.
And it wasn't the right answer. And it was like, she was like,
They said Kendrick Lamar.
I've never heard Kendrick Lamar. She was like, I've never heard that before. So I asked the question, like, how old are you? Like, cause normally we vet people before we bring them on the pod. So I'm like, how old are you? And then she was like, no, I'm like 32. And I'm like, no, you should have heard this.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Tupac.
Dear mama.
how you didn't get that? Right? So it's like, no. So then I realized when DC did the edit, and then when she answered the question, then it's flashing trespass on the screen.
Ooh.
They're like, yo,
let her in.
we can't let you into the barbecue. You can't, listen,
come in.
we don't know who you are. We gotta ask more questions. We don't know you in
She
depth.
was saying the front they playing volleyball and stuff.
Yeah. You can't get to the backyard portion though. You gotta stay up front.
She can get a hot dog.
Yeah,
No
chips in these
dominoes,
shoes.
no spades.
We definitely can't eat none of the food that you're not allowed to bring food into the barbecue.
You should have
Not-
tested us so people know we belong here.
It's- we can, but we got y'all. I feel like while we had y'all here, because there's different calibers of different people.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know what, we got to use the caliber before we got, because how often For a lot of people, how often are you going to be able to sit down and actually see financial professionals if you're not already going to see them? So people that already go see them, like, oh, it's nothing. But people who never seen them, I was like, let me humanize them for a second, so it don't sound like I'm selling them on. Because I need y'all to know, I'm not getting paid anything from this, but these are my people. These are people who I do business with. Yeah. So I'm bringing it to you. So hopefully, if you're not, and you don't have somebody that's financially licensed in your life that can give you real financial advice, these are my people. Go use my people, please. Okay, we'll make sure the information is available. Do not go on YouTube talking about you just saw Buddy in a short, and in 60 seconds he done convinced you to. Oh man, that is just
jet ski.
Yeah.
You know
hey
what I'm talking
man,
about.
they said I put my money. Dude, hold on, I gotta tell them this story real quick. Long story short, I got invited to invest in. This company, whatever. There's some brothers that was in the nation, so I was just like, they try to use like affinity. So I like to ask questions. And it's like, oh, brother Ben does it. I'm like, it doesn't matter to me.
Right.
You know? So I go to the presentation, and the whole presentation is just brother Ben. And I was like, how did y'all company do presentations before he came? I was like, because this didn't tell me nothing about the company. It's just about Ben. Ben is not a good decision for me to make a business decision. So it was like, oh, come back. So I was like, okay, come back the second time. It's a completely different presentation, which red flags already going off in my mind. So then I was like, what's the name of y'all company? And I go look it up, and I was like, did y'all know that the founder of y'all company is wanted in like by Interpol in like several different countries for Ponzi schemes? They're like, no. But here's the kicker. They promised a 4% weekly return. And I was like, I know y'all talking to people that don't do math. I was like, but I didn't fail that class. So 4%, we didn't say 4% annual. You're saying a 4%. I said, if you have $100 and you say you make $4, it doesn't sound like nothing. But if you say, if I give you $1 million, what product on earth produces 4% weekly returns that compound? Like that's impossible. Crap don't sell like that. There's no product on earth that will get you a 4% weekly return. So when I talk to the brothers, they got upset with me like, why are you hating? Like, I'm not hating. I'm just trying to tell you that's impossible to have a 4% weekly return. So then check this out. We go back and forth. After the back and forth, after we do the back and forth, I send them all this information that I found. And I found it like 5 minutes on Google. It's not even hard. I just Googled it. It's right here. This is everything. Better Business Bureau, whatever. These are the places where this guy has wanted. These are the Ponzi schemes that have failed. This is a Ponzi scheme. One person told me they're a millionaire. And I was like, where's the money at? They're like, well, it's on the computer system that we have in our dashboard. I'm like, if it's in their dashboard, it's just to keep you titillated. It doesn't exist. You're not a millionaire. You're as broke as the next person. Like, no, I'm a millionaire. Okay, cool. The next, within the next day or two, I see a thing go up there for an episode with Brother Ben, but he's on JT Pocket Watcher. And guess what JT tells him? Everything that I just told him. And then like, it's a Ponzi scheme and the house of cards is coming down. The next day, an issue goes out from the state of Texas. This is no longer able to be invested in the state of Texas because this is a known Ponzi scheme. Like 2 days later, California. 2 days later, like Arkansas, Colorado. Then the states then it comes out on a federal level. This is a known Ponzi scheme shut down by the SEC because it looks like a Ponzi scheme. 4% weekly returns is mathematically impossible. I was like, Google, Starbucks, Nike, Netflix. Nobody is getting a 4% weekly return. It's just mathematically impossible. So, nobody listen to me, but that's why I'm like, listen, a financial professional in your life, instead of you doing that, you could have walked and said, hey, I know your license. Let me go talk to Francisco. And he just sat down and said, listen, I want to invest in this company. They're offering me a 4% weekly return. And I've never asked Francisco this question because I didn't have to, but I'm pretty sure he would have told me, get up, turn around. That sounds out of this world. So, entrepreneurs, I hope y'all learned a lesson in that. You can ask your question, Francisco. It was on my mind.
All right, hustle number 15.
Yeah.
What's a time you had to choose growth over comfort?
Oh gosh. As an entrepreneur, that's on a regular basis. I mean, you cannot be comfortable if you're trying to grow. And I'll give you an example. Right now, Nikki and I, we've made some big moves over the last couple of years and transitioned. And the cost to make that transition was pretty big. And subsequently, we've had to pay a price. And so there's no room to be comfortable when you're trying to grow an empire. There's
like
no
that.
comfort in that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like working out. If you want to get pecs and biceps, there's no comfort in ripping tissue.
Strength comes with the struggle.
You got to go through some things. And so there's going to be strength in personal development. I mean, there's going to be the struggle in the personal development space because you got to grow a different way entirely. You got to grow into a different person. Going back to that butterfly scenario, essentially right now I feel like I'm in a cocoon again.
Oh yeah.
Right? And so that's where there's a lot of growth, a lot of fighting, a lot of internal work. Because I will tell you, the best work that you can ever do
Yeah.
outside of anything else is always going to be your internal.
Absolutely.
Because oftentimes what people don't see is the internal, and eventually that internal will manifest itself externally. And when it does, people are like, man, I knew you was going to make it. I was doing this the whole time. I was already successful.
Absolutely.
So you have to assume that role and posture way before the external manifests itself. And so the hardest, so back to your point, you know, I don't choose comfort. There's no comfort. I choose growth. And I, you know, Nikki will tell you this in a heartbeat. I've always been growth oriented. My mindset has always been about growth, and the people that are around me, if you're around me, you have to be about growing.
Absolutely.
You know, your language, your conversation, it's got to
They'll
be about
challenge
growth.
you.
Absolutely.
It's got to be about growing. Because if you're talking about nonsense, ain't got nothing to do with growing, I'm past you.
Absolutely.
I ain't got time for it.
So on a spiritual and mental level, you would say that the unseen is manifested by the seen.
That's
Because
right.
you don't see the internal, but everybody wants the external.
Everybody wants the external.
Everybody wants the external,
You
but
know.
don't want to go through the internal.
They don't want to go through it.
I'll give our relationship for an example. I see people tell us all the time, "Oh, you guys are, you know, this type of couple or that kind of couple." You have no idea
You think you know.
how
Right.
hard we have worked to get to where we are in our relationship and why we have this. So if you're not willing to be uncomfortable and do the work, you know, most people just aren't willing to do that.
And so, and just like what Nikki just said speaks to your question, could have been related just to the work, the business, right?
Anywhere.
It can go in everything because,
Absolutely.
so here's the reality. You'll see people become successful in one area of their life. But the other aspect of their lives are suffering. Jesus made the comment, he said, what's the point of gaining the whole world but losing your soul and losing everything, right? I'm not interested in that aspect of success. I want it all, meaning I want my wife, I want my God relationship, I want my kids.
Absolutely.
And you know what? The business will come. And so here's our approach. Faith, family, fitness, I'm working on that, finance and fun.
Absolutely.
Right? The fulfillment formula, the 5 F's. Faith, family, fitness, finance, fun. And when you run things in that order, it makes things a lot easier. So it's kind of like organizing your calendar. Where am I at with my faith? Where am I at with my relationship with my wife? Because we're the primary relationship. Our kids, they next level.
Come on.
Right,
You
right,
talking
right.
Right, so kids is next level.
Right.
I think a lot of times people put them kids up above the marital relationship, and that's
Absolutely.
not the placement.
Absolutely.
That's incorrect in all of its aspects. And so us first, kids can be happy because we happy,
Absolutely.
right? And then we take care of that. Take care of fitness and take care of the finance money part, because the money supports a lot of things, right? Because if
Right.
you ain't got no money, you hand them out, you're trying to figure life out. But while you're making the money, you still got to have some fun too, right? So you got to have fun throughout the whole thing. But growth, yeah, you got to be growing. Otherwise, you said it earlier, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Absolutely. I like that. You can go, whoever's picking the next question, because I like the order, right? Because in PIMDES, if you start subtracting before you hit them parentheses, you're going to have an answer. It's going to be wrong. And one of the things the therapist said in the therapy episode was that a lot of us try to do, we might understand the problem, but if you do it in the wrong order, you're still not going to get the right result. You're still not going to get the right answer. So you got to work the PIMDES. You got to work the correct order of operations.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of times our operations, we have operations, but the order, they're out of order.
They're out of order.
And if something's out of order, you can't use it.
No, yeah,
So,
it's not going to work.
yeah, I like that.
All right, so I'm gonna try spicy for 5, Alex.
I'm gonna spicy, fried hard, with mild sauce on the side.
You're talking about some gizzards.
What's a moment you felt unseen in a room full of people? Like being present but not valued.
Oh,
Yeah, that's spicy.
that is.
Yeah, it's spicy.
That's a little spicy.
That's yeah.
Not value. Oh, wow.
It's like a
I
feeling
can
about a
say
place.
that maybe I haven't felt like that since I was like a teenager, to be honest. Right? Yeah. So maybe like the last time I felt like that was in high school. We used to have a cafeteria area in the school that I went to, and it was a new school. So my parents moved us from Chicago to Hanover Park in the suburbs of Chicago, and our whole environment changed. So I was around all my people in Chicago. And we move out to the suburbs, and it was like a primarily white school, you know. So in that environment, I felt very unseen because it was just way different than what I was used to in Chicago. But yeah, I was a teenager at that time. So yeah, I didn't know what to do with that. In fact, we had, funny story, my brother and I, like the first few weeks of school, we're going out to a bus, which we didn't even see yellow buses because in Chicago, as we get on the bus to go to school, get on the CTA to go to school. And these kids came up to us and they immediately assumed we were gang members.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Immediately assumed that. And
They didn't let the GDs in the dope.
they were like, what you be about, bro? And we were
No, that experience I had in Atlanta, I felt that way. When I got in there, I was like, I felt really I felt really intimidated. I was like, all these successful black people. I was like, all the time y'all was learning. I was like, I don't know what I was doing in my life. Like I could have been in these same circles, but I felt valued by the end of the night because that was the location I met Marquell Russell. When I told him, he asked me if I knew who he was. And I was like, no. And he's like, have you ever heard of the Pay That Playbook? And I was like, oh, I be seeing you on everything. Then I was like, that's you? And he's like, yeah. So now I told him what I did. I was like, I got this school, whatever, with these children. It was interesting to me that his response, he was like, you got what? A black man, school? Then he was like, yo, I'm coming to see you. Don't worry about it. I paid my way. He's like, you don't understand. You're the most important person in the room. And at that moment, my perspective was so skewed because I was thinking like all these successful people, there's no vetting going on, right? I didn't know half people scamming at that time. So I earned my way there because it was like a private event. And it's like your name got to be on the guest list. You can't even get in if your name not on the guest list, but you got to be the +1. So I earned my way to get there, but it didn't even dawn on me like the work that was happening. I felt really intimidated in the room, but when he said that, I was like, there is some value in what's happening here. Like I earned my way here. Like everybody else had, scams or they had successful businesses, but earning my way there was crazy. And it was like, I felt it. And then, but now if I could go back to that same meeting now, I would probably walk with my nose up a little bit because I would feel like now that I've been around a lot of successful people, it doesn't move the same way that event moved.
Yeah.
The event moved a certain way, and I was like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it.
For the most part, as an adult, I would say that any space I'm in, I know I belong there.
I love it.
I know I belong there, and I look at people. I don't care if you are an NFL quarterback standing in the same space that I'm in. You're a person.
Absolutely.
Just like me.
That's it. That's
You know what I'm
Oxygen and
saying?
blood don't move the same way.
I'm not going to sit here and idolize you or anything like that because I don't know you as a person. You could be a jerk.
Absolutely.
So what am I idolizing?
Absolutely.
Or you, I don't know. I don't necessarily feel that way. Have you ever felt that way? Yeah. As an adult, anyways.
As an adult, I mean, and that's what it comes down to. I mean, you go from childhood to adulthood.
Absolutely.
So I mean, as kids, you always gonna feel some sort of intimidation, some sort of a situation where you feel like out of place. But as an adult, I'll tell you that when I got into the financial arena, by way of one of my clients years ago, he had a Bentley sitting out in front of his building, and I asked him one day, I said, what do you do? You know, I'm taking care of his business, helping him with some stuff. And I said, what do you do? He says, well, I'm in the finance industry. I got this series license, that series license. I do this. I'm like, that's interesting. And that left an impression on me to the degree that I became very interested in what he does. And I said, you know what? And I asked him a little bit about his life, and it sounded like he had a pretty decent life. And I look at people from a life perspective, not a money perspective.
Absolutely.
The Bentley was sitting out there, so that was a first glimpse, right, into this person. But I know that's a result or an outcome as a result of the work.
Absolutely.
Right, so that's where it fit. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's times where I felt a little out of place, where there's multimillionaires to billionaires that I've had the opportunity to be around. And I said, okay, I got to level up my game. And so it wasn't that I took it in a negative, right? Some people could say, well, I don't belong here.
Right.
You know, I'm in the wrong room. I knew I was in the right room. I knew I was in the right place with peers that could help me level up and improve. Remember, I said I'm all about growth, right? So I've got to allow myself to be in those spaces where people are at this level on that financial side. And I say, what did you do? So it becomes an opportunity to tap in to knowledge, to experiences, and say, okay, how can I duplicate that? How can I make that part of my everyday activity so I can achieve some goals too?
But you always vet them first.
But you vet them. I will tell you,
Vet them first.
and I'll tell you, the people that I have an opportunity to know, they're all vetted.
Right.
It's legit all day. It's not you're gonna look them up and be like, oh, look what I found on here. No. It's legit. So I like those environments.
Absolutely.
And I find ways to put myself in a pressure situations to be uncomfortable. That has to do with growth.
Absolutely.
Because you won't grow in comfort.
Absolutely.
So put yourself in a different room.
You mentioned the caterpillar. I read that caterpillars, before they go in the cocoon, they eat like 700 times their weight before they go in the cocoon.
They prepare.
They have their preparation stage is crazy. 700 times your weight to go through this process. And then even with a certain type of butterflies, I think the monarch, they said only 10% even come to birth. So it's like you can do all this preparation, and then a lot of us get lost in the preparation stage. We get lost in the transformation stage. It's only like a very rare amount that actually come out of the cocoon to become butterflies, which is amazing.
And that's a powerful point, because again, speaking that as an illustration, you as a person, what stage are you on? Are you in the transformative stage? Are you in the prep stage? And so many people are getting ready to get ready. Hence, they never
get ready.
They never get to the point of starting.
Right.
And so that ties to relationships, that ties to their business endeavors, it ties to their children. They're just getting ready.
You know what's crazy? On the way to do this podcast, I literally just shot a video. It's posted on my Facebook page now, so I couldn't have done it while we sat at the table. And literally my message coming in here was, listen, you're never going to be fully ready. Like, you don't even have to know how to do it. Just get started, and you'll figure it out as you go. But if you never get started, you can't be successful not starting. No. You can't even say you are the thing if you've never done the thing. Just start it and figure it out as you go.
That's right.
I literally just said that coming in here.
That's life.
Yeah.
That's life. That's Frank Sinatra, right? That's life.
Well, we got time for one more question. All right, we'll do one more last question. This been. I'll keep y'all overtime. This fun. I've had some guests where I'm like, hurry up, get it over.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, this is me again?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, I can't help it. I feel like I gotta stay in that hustle space.
Stay in the hustle space.
I like how they discuss it beforehand. Like it's like the game shows is like $1 million on the table. Which one we gonna pick?
Maybe I can stay right here.
Let me go hustle for 10.
Hustle 10.
Man, this is fun.
All right, here we go. What's a time you had to stand alone in order to stand for what was right?
Ooh. I'm gonna get real.
Oh wow.
Man.
Oh wow, babe. That's a deep question. Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
let me dress it properly.
Okay.
Let me dress it properly.
Yeah. Wow.
They talk in between the little outbursts, like wow, the silence.
Right.
He looks at her and she be like, "I'm gonna address it properly."
Right.
There's a lot of conversation going on.
So,
Spoken and unspoken.
so the question was, I mean, when was there a time that I had to stand alone
In order to stand for what was right.
in order to stand for what was right? Well, all right. So my previous career, I was in tech. I was in the tech space. I sold technology. Nikki and I, we saw an introduction to the financial services industry. We saw it together. And I said, "Oh, it's something we can do together." And she looks at me and said, "Something you can do." I said, "Something we can do together." She went, "Something you can do." And I said, "Okay." So I started doing the thing. But I did the thing for a while by myself. So when it gets down to it, so I managed having a corporate career, having family life. And by the way, when you're in a corporate career, nothing is ever in order. So what I spoke to earlier, the faith, family, fitness, finance, fun, forget about that. That wasn't in the corporate space. So if they gonna pay you a 6-figure income, they demand you. So you're a cog in the wheel. So I was part of that deal. I was the hamster in the wheel. So I was looking for a way out. And the opportunity, the business model that we're part of today was the way out. And so I had to find a way to balance spiritual things, family life, work. Fitness was non-existent, to be 100%, and then manage participating and working and learning this business. And I did it on my own for an extended period of time. And that led to some challenges that again, I was going for what I knew. There's a book that says "Go for No." I was going for what I know, KNOW. Okay, what I know to be the right course, and it was a challenge because you end up in fights, arguments, and things like that. I got to take this trip. Well, it's necessary. It's going to help us to progress, move forward. And then when you feel like you don't necessarily have the full family support, it makes it difficult to say, I'm going to keep moving forward. Because you need that support.
Right.
But even without the support initially, I still kept going. I still kept going. And some would say, well, that could have cost you. Yeah, you're right. It could have cost me. But I was working on this too. I was working on a family thing too, to make sure it stayed right. So that means you have to double up in some areas, double up, triple up, quadruple up, whatever you got to do to maintain it. So learning this business on a part-time basis, traveling for my job, and then traveling for the business, and then working to establish a business in this market, it was all tough. I started making some money. Then there were some scenarios where it's like, oh,
Starting to pay off.
How'd you do that? What kind of help you need? Right? So here's the thing. It's not a bad thing because the other side of the equation is this. What I realized is what I thought was not support worked out to be support.
Talk about it. Yeah.
Because in that context, it kept pushing me. But at the same time, my wife was taking care of the house.
Yeah.
She taking care of the kids. I'm not there taking care of the kids. Not like the way she was, right?
And that freed you up.
And that freed me up. So, chores getting done around the house, the lawn getting cut, making sure things are still being managed. That was a support.
Yeah.
And so Nikki handled all of that.
That's what's up.
And so I had to think about that
Later on. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was growing through some new stages. I was growing differently from being an employee to being that of an owner in a business. Because there's transitions that you do need help to make it happen. Anybody that ever tells you that they're self-made, they're lying.
Absolutely.
There's no self-made. One time I did it all by myself. Look at me. No, I mean, my wife, Nikki, she took care of a lot of things and I had to see that, but I didn't see that till later. I didn't see it till later, but in the beginning, I had to go through that stage.
Absolutely.
In stages. And I also had to show that this was profitable too.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice when you get a check for $16,000, $17,000 in one check, and that speaks to what this will look like. Right. And then imagine getting those once a week, twice a week, and it's consistent. It's like, whoa, that's legit. And you feel pretty good about what you're doing. So in other words, you can also buy support.
Right.
But that speaks to you can buy support. That speaks to what that speaks to what we were talking about, the different stages of growth in the relationship. Because now when we look back at it, as soon as he asked the question, we knew what stage that was in our relationship.
You can go back on the timeline and see it.
He stood alone. At that time, we didn't realize that that's what was happening. But now when we look back at it, the same way you're saying all the things I did, I'm so appreciative that as a man, my husband made the choice that he made. You know, and a lot of women feel resentful behind things like that. But I know that if he hadn't made that choice, we wouldn't have a lot of the things that we have today as far as the freedoms and flexibility and stability that we have financially in our relationship and as a family. So it's so funny. He'll be talking to other young men, you know, that are in relationships with their wives, and they're afraid to make that hard decision without that support, because it's like, well, my wife doesn't support it, I can't do it. Well, she may not support it because she may not understand it fully at that time. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. And so I appreciate that he had the strength and the wherewithal to continue to make the decision even without me being 100% on board with his decision at that time.
So God gave you the vision.
It was his vision.
You had the vision.
Nobody
else could see your vision until you were able to show them your vision tangibly. I dig it.
And that just speaks. I mean, you got to be willing to take that walk. You know, there's one thing about leadership. As an example of leadership, leaders are typically going to be alone.
Absolutely.
Leaders, you're going to walk alone, right? And the cool thing is, though, I had a lot of people, though, that showed some leadership that I can connect to as well. And that also helped me move through those processes.
As you're on your path.
As I was on the path. And remember I said earlier, the books, the audibles that you listen to, the events, all of that stuff helped to build you. Because it's kind of like in the Marines. We were talking about this recently too. You know, why do they call them jarheads? Well, because they're going to get you, strip you down, break you down. Everything that was you before you walked in, they're getting rid of. So now they can put what they want to in your head and then seal the cap, right? And so you become something different altogether. So when you walk the path of entrepreneurship, while you're married with kids, obligations, responsibilities, is it hard? Hell yeah.
Come on, brother.
Is it hard? I mean, no. Here's the thing. Is it worth it for everybody? Listen, I would say that I would love to see everybody become an entrepreneur. But it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
Because when you have to shed off the employee mindset, that's work. That takes time. Because you had all the schooling that poured into you that you were supposed to be an employee. That's what university is for. You're supposed to be an employee, not an entrepreneur.
And can you walk alone when you need to?
And exactly.
That walk alone piece is heavy.
And walk alone, man. That's where fear, worry, and doubt set in.
Come on now.
That's where the fear, worry, and doubt. You fear what's ahead because you're not sure what it is.
Right.
You doubt yourself because you've never done this before, and you're worried about what's happening at home. You know, and so when that sets in, it kind of paralyzes you. But when you take in the right information, you're around the right people, and you have the right motivations and intentions with what you're doing. If your reasons are right, it goes back to one simple thing: your why. When your why is strong enough, it'll always make you cry. It'll make you cry.
Absolutely.
And so my why has always been about my family. And so It's always been about my family, making sure that we can be free, we can do things. I've never wanted to be tied to a job. I've always said my wife need not work for another man.
Come on.
Need not work for another man. If I send my wife to work for another man, what is that? That's like pimping her out.
Man.
And that's not how I rock.
I love it.
I'm not that. I've always been that way.
And she don't know what a Birkin is. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen to this.
Brought it back full circle.
Listen to what's happening.
She might know now.
That's happening.
Because the reality is, you don't need a Birkin to be fulfilled.
No, you don't.
That's
You
the thing.
don't.
We never even touched on it, but I think a huge part, just because I know y'all cheat sheet, so we're bringing back for part 2. I'm just volunteering them. But spirituality plays a huge part in it.
Yeah.
Like
Man.
interpersonal relationships, like even relationship with your children, how you grew up, all that, like all those aspects play a role into it. So I thank y'all for coming out for this episode too, because one, it legitimizes our show, right?
Yeah, we got professionals.
We got professionals on the show that you could, so it's not just all, whatever. But it, in a sense that though, like one, people that watch the show, a lot of people that watch the show now financially, especially locally, it's popping locally. So people have a place to go. So I'm gonna make sure we get y'all information so we can send people to you. That's important to me, to send people to the right people, to get the right information at the right time. But two, this was an awesome episode. Like this was inspiration. It was information. We laughed, but we also got some real information. I think it really helped people. So I appreciate y'all for coming to the show.
Oh, thanks
Thank
for
you for
having
the
us.
invite.
So let me tell y'all this too.
Uh-oh.
June 14th, mark your calendar.
Oh.
If it's not marked, June 14th, we'll be having our Hustle and Humor alumni dinner night.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
not just going to be a regular dinner. We're going to do a lot of stuff that night. We already got it mapped out and planned out, but I would love to get y'all specifically that night for all the entrepreneurs that will be in the building. That maybe we'll do like a quick 15 or 30-minute segment, and we'll do on finances, and people can ask y'all questions and talk to y'all, and y'all can kind of answer them, and anybody needs more information can follow up with y'all. And because a lot of entrepreneurs come to the show,
Yep.
and I just realized dealing with a lot of people come to the show, like we come so incomplete. A lot of us are at through stages where it's like, I want to do this, and this, or I'm doing this, but I have no clue about these other things. And so just to help fill in those gaps of pieces that you need as an entrepreneur, like you need an attorney, you need a financial professional,
CPAs.
you need a CPA, you need a doctor in your life, like you need certain people in your life. And so I appreciate y'all for coming, so people have that, so they know, so y'all are invited on camera. So hey, cool. Say it is part 2 so we can send it to them.
Let me add something. First and foremost, I really appreciate Henry, everybody. Keep this in mind. This brother's be on top of it. He's always looking for ways to uplift and improve and help the community. So I appreciate you and value you
Thank
for
you,
everything
thank you.
that you do. And you and Keshonda, y'all an amazing couple, and we love you guys. And so what you guys are doing with Kika First for the Academy, y'all are doing an excellent job. So y'all keep doing what y'all doing as professionals
Absolutely.
locally. And I appreciate and value the relationship that we've been able to
Absolutely.
connect and create over the years. And then along with that, let me just kind of give y'all something special. In the month of April, most
Yes,
people
sir.
don't realize this, but the month of April is Financial Literacy Awareness Month.
Ooh,
Right?
Ooh, we might
So
bring y'all
the-
back next month.
So it would be a good thing to have folks know that that's what's happening. And so what we're going to be doing in our agency, our firm, next month is we're going to do a series of events. More like web Zooms and things like that. And then we'll also be opening the doors to take on some new clients. All right, because there's a certain number of clients that I take on per year. Right. So, because I just can't work with everybody. We love to work with everybody, but we have an agency that is capable
Of
working with everybody. So we've got a number of licensed agents in our agency that have the capacity to serve clients. So the objective is for the month of April, our agency has a goal to be able to help 150 new clients. Right. So with all of our agents in the agency, in our firm, we can serve. Okay. So minimally 150, because it's Financial Literacy Awareness Month. There's some things that we really, really want to make sure the community knows and are literally getting educated.
So I'll extend the invite. If you all want to come back, just let me know. Because for that, And also, like, if you got any events coming up, because once we get through it and we edit it up and everything, then you'll be able to run it through Opus. We'll chop up, and then you'll be able to have the shorts, and then you can post those wherever you need to post those, your page, wherever. And the long form content is cool, like dedicated people watch the long form content, but the shorts is where really we get a lot of traction at. So your shorts will be able to help you, put the message out there. So somebody may see part of something and it may take them to another spot, and then you can mark it up and, add marketing to it. So that may be something that y'all, if you're interested in. But yeah, my door's always open to y'all. Y'all like residents here. So, so definitely tap in. Appreciate y'all for coming out. This is hustle and humor, man. You see how we do it on this side, Entrepreneurship ain't easy, but you should have fun doing it. It's not easy, but you can still have fun. So, man, this is your boy CEO, Brother Henry. We got Francisco and Nikki in the building with us today. The Mr. and Mrs. Anderson. You're in the Matrix, all right? We about to go and get out of here. DC, man, take us out of here, man. Let them know, man. Hustle and humor.
Don't forget to laugh, y'all. Peace.